blindfold. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau. 200 miles on the dash. Gotta roll a pound up a gas. Switching lanes in the grand.
What's up, you guys? So today I am back as promised with a hair review / mini wig making tutorial. Now the only reason why this was altered into a mini wig making tutorial is because the files of me finishing this bomb ass wig decided to get corrupted. So we're gonna still push through with the files that we have and make the best of this. So I am going to be showing you guys the amazing hair I was sent by her hair company. I am going to be reviewing their Brazilian Wavy, and I was sent a 16-inch frontal, a 20-inch bundle, 22-inch bundle, and 24-inch bundle. And guys, let's talk about this quality though, because you can see these ain't no regular schmegular bundles, all right? So the quality of these bundles are amazing. Like the wefts, like let's look at these wefts, because there's no hanging thread. The wefts are not messy, and they were super easy to sew through when making the wig. So that's one thing that's always the best when you're like looking for bundles and trying to, buy. Make sure that you find bundles that when you look up the reviews, the wefts are always intact. As you can see from this frontal though, popping, okay? Like when you really want your wig to look like scalp and really melt with that adhesive, you have to look for a frontal that has like thin lace, like kind of semi-transparent, not too thick, and usually that's kind of hard to find unless you have like a go-to vendor. But this frontal, once you see how it looks installed, okay, watch. A lot of people have been asking me, how do you make your wigs? And I felt like this was the perfect time to come back on here and dive right back into what I normally do. This is my little wig head right here. It's very messy as far as you see all the dye on here. I'm going to be making a wig with some marvelous hair from her hair company. I already bleached the knots, as you can see, so once I do customize it properly and pluck and stuff, it's going to be like nothing like this lace. I want you guys to see how nice and thin it is. It's a 13 by 4. And this is in 16 inches. You can tell just based on quality and me running my hands through it that this is some quality hair. Like, this is not AliExpress hair. The grade of this hair, you can feel that this is quality hair. But it is, you really don't see a curl pattern in it in comparison to the frontal. I would say you see that this has more of a wavy texture. Slightly wavy, but it's not as wavy as the frontal. So I have my wig head here. I'm going to make the wig from scratch. This is the wig cap that I usually use for my wigs. I'm going to get my wig head. I have my wig head on a stool. A stool. I have it on a stool. Please tell me, how does this wig cap have a rip in it already? Like, look at this. This has a whole rip in it. I'm pissed, but even though that's the part that the frontal is going to be on, we should be fine. I also have some of these T-pins. Thread, this is nylon thread, I believe, is it? So first things first, I'm going to be braiding the hair of the frontal to get it out of the way, because that can be the most annoying thing when you're sewing is hair getting caught in the thread. Now I'm going to be shifting the frontal up ahead of the cap, like in front of the cap, and seeing where I want it placed so that, when I put it on, it looks the most realistic. So you always want to kind of sit it in front of the cap, not directly on the cap. So the mesh should be in front of the cap, and then you pin it to the front and make sure that everything lays flat. So as you can see, the back, the lining, you always follow that lining that's on the frontal across the cap so that it lays flat, and then that's your guide for sewing. So now I'm going to be taking my needle and starting at the very edge of the frontal and going through the actual cap and not the elastic band that is in the cap. That's one thing you want to make sure you don't do. You do not go through the elastic band, because then that will make the actual cap too tight, and then there will be a whole issue. Just like you'll feel when you're going through the actual elastic, just remove your needle out and go back in to just grab the mesh of that lining, not the actual elastic band that is inside the lining of the wig cap. I wish I could like rip the cap apart and show you guys an in-depth like, you know, explanation, but you guys should know what I'm talking about, like once you actually test this out. So my method for sewing is hook, pull through the hoop. So I usually just take my needle, hook it through the frontal, hook it through the mesh, and then pull it through the hoop. As you can see, I'm going to be doing that. That's my method of sewing when I sew on my frontal and when I continuously sew the bundles throughout the wig. So I'm going to pretty much be doing that method this whole video. So some of this is kind of going to be sped up a bit just because it's going to be a long minutes of you watching the same exact hand movement the whole time. So hook, pull through the hoop, and pull. That's pretty much it. I'm kind of going to zoom in so that you guys can see. But usually when I do this method, this is the only way I was kind of taught to sew, really. Anything hair related. So it usually just comes out the neatest and the flattest for me. And you guys are going to see at the end of this that the construction within the cap is actually pretty neat. And this is how I make all of my wigs. Like if I show you guys the difference in my wigs from when I first started, you will definitely see a big change for sure. So the first bundle your girl is sewing is also the longest bundle, which is the 24-inch, and I'm just doing that same method, which is hook, pull through the hoop, and pull. Nothing too crazy, nothing different. So I'm going to be doing that for the rest of this video until we discover that the portion of me actually bodying this wig and closing it out is gone. Like, I'm not over that, but let's not talk about it. So I'm just going to be doing that for the rest of this video. And then I'm going to go in depth with showing you guys how the inside of the wig looked when it was complete, as well as how the wig looked on and how it looked the first time I installed it and all that good stuff. Because no lie, this is my favorite wig of all the wigs I've ever made in my life. My favorite. And I'm going to carry this wig with me until it's completely done. Okay? Like until it's given out, like bitch retire me. That's the only time I'm giving up. But this wig, this hair, everything, like this is one of my favorite wigs I've ever made. So as you can see, like my method, which is the standard method, I would say, is pretty neat and everything was going smoothly. And then, you know, the corruption happened. So this is how the inside of the wig looked when it was done. Everything, like I didn't mark anything. I know sometimes people like to mark where they put, you know, their wefts as they're sewing, but I didn't have time for that. So I just, you know, followed how I always do, and this is how the wig came out. This is how the frontal look with the knots bleached. Okay, like this looks like scalp on my hand, and now this looks like scalp on my head. Like I can't. This is how the wig looked when I was done. All I did was like do the edges with some Eco Styling Gel, and I was singing Big Bank obviously and feeling myself. But this is how the wig looked, and this, before anyone comes for me saying that my part is too wide, please know that that's the light, because once you see pictures, the part does not look that wide at all. And the part is actually pretty fine. So this is how the wig looked when it was done. I had the baby hairs on fleek, jet black on fleek. Like everything was popping. It looked like scalp. Like, I'm sorry, this looks like scalp. So I'm gonna actually try to get my hands on some, you know, new hair and actually redo this in a more in-depth way. But I hope you guys enjoyed this mini tutorial. I'm sorry that it was so short. I really appreciate you guys for rocking with me and supporting me and just always being there. And I really look forward to all the comments that you guys write. But if you guys have any other questions or anything that I did not touch on with this hair, there will also be a follow-up video with me concluding how I felt about this hair and how it cooperated with me while I had it installed. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you guys again in my next video. Be sure to check out her hair company, and all the information needed will be found in the description box down below. Thanks, guys. Bye.